So thank you, Janus, for having me here today and speaking in this wide crowd as I hear like beeping all the time, more and more people coming in. Okay, let's see what I can show you today is more or less my diary of AI. The last year as a creative, I started last year with visuals, so text to image. So yeah, maybe you know some things out of it. I hope there's some new things on it. Let's go. It's AI and creativity, but meanwhile it's AI everything and everywhere. So and gefährliches Halbwissen means dangerous half knowledge, because I'm not a developer, I'm not an IT, I'm a creative designer. So let's see what we can do. So this is me in a nutshell. I'm at Netgen here in Switzerland. Doing brand experience management, screen design, and brand design. But today I talk about AI. I love to do it, but it has normally nothing to do with what I do on daily business. So it's a long presentation, so if you need to blink, maybe you do it better now. Let's go. So why is everybody nuts? You know, maybe it's this ChatGPT iPhone moment with 100 million monthly users reached in 2 months. That is an impressive number, and yeah, people think they will miss anything. And for most of us, I haven't heard a lot of these tools a long time ago. There was not much you can do with it, and then we had this ChatGPT moment in November, and then again one in March, and topics are rising as hell. I mean, this is like even Bill Gates was surprised. You see the little quote down there. Even he was surprised how fast this development is going. He thought about 3 years talking to OpenAI, and then they finished their task in a few months. This was his latest newsletter post from end of April, I think. And this is somebody on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn crowd, just try to keep up with all these news, and it's just crazy what all happened in March, right? You got flooded by tools and new announcements and numbers, and yeah. So last year I asked the early version of ChatGPT how AI will change the creative process. And it said more or less, and it nailed it down, that it will be more efficient and effective, that it will create more ideas quickly, and maybe it helps to understand the audience we address. I think it pretty nailed it down, even to this early moment. And now we have it, right? We have to deal with this, a lot of ideas coming up. We have to find the best one. We have to be creative in this new flood of tools. So yeah, what will be the strategy of it? What can we do? How can we align this? As I am here based in Switzerland, maybe a little introduction to this guy. This was my AI idol and mentor. He's a comedian, nerd, and filmmaker, pretty well known here in Switzerland. And yeah, in the middle of 22, he had a children book announced. And I was like, holy shit, you cannot only be funny comedian and films, you do drawings as well. And he said, no, I'm not doing drawings. It's all generated. So I was totally surprised that this is possible. And then you have to know that I'm doing on the left side all this illustration stuff. Still, even if I work for an internet web design agency, I love to draw, I love to sketch, I do stuff with my kids. And what I do is like creative puns on animal names, right? You see like the chinchilla or the polar bear or the snake. And I thought like, yeah, I'm unique. This is something only I can do. And then these tools came out, and from one sudden to another, only one single line of text delivers me like tons of outputs. And it's so tempting to do so, even in an early stage, to brainstorm or use the ChatGPT or whatever Midjourney as a brainstorming partner for creative. So you see, like these marked ones here, they started to flood my ideas, and even so, meanwhile, if I go lazy, I trained ChatGPT on my humor just showing him some examples, writing to them and filtering him out. And now he gives me the joke, just giving him an animal name. I think this is, yeah, tempting, makes me lazy sometimes, but also it's a good brainstorming part. Although, I mean, if you think about it, a year ago, if you would have explained that you can just say one single line of text prompt and you get every crazy idea you want, unbelievable. I mean, I'm a cinema enthusiast, so if I want to have Gandhi fighting Mother Teresa on an action movie, I just type it in one single text line and I get the result. This is amazing for brainstorming, for showing people ideas. And even if you feed one AI to the next AI, this, as I said, I love to explore by having fun. I mean, you can just animate now every still image by one AI feeding the other AI tool. And friends of mine working in the film business, they do it for storyboarding to sell their products better. I will just click on here. Doesn't work, does it? Ah. So why I choose this example is just like from the idea to making the image, giving them the dialogues and animate them. It took 20 minutes. What I think is crazy. I mean, and I never used those tools for animated this before. It's DID. So I think this potential for creativity and getting results quicker and faster is unbelievable for me. I heard that some experts are here. Just in case somebody does not know why it's called stable diffusion or diffusion models, it is this bringing back the original status of the beginning. So it learned to do images from noise or getting rid of image information or text information, as you see on the left, right-hand corner. And then now via Gaussian distribution, it can recalculate images and text or the next word. Yeah? And I found, once I understood that, I found this example that scared me, to be honest. I hope you can see it in the middle. There's the first row of images. If this paper is true, and it seems to be like, they showed the first row of images to people during scanning their brains. And then, as the brain function is nothing else than another kind of noise, they put it into a trained stable diffusion model and could recalculate, there's the images below, what the test person had seen. I mean, this is, just think about it. This is mind-reading experience. You can now look into minds, creative or non-creative ones, and interpret what they did see or what they had in mind. If this goes in an exponential way, this is going to be fun or not. We can see. Of course, we have issues, right? These companies that do these tools, they have everything in their hand. They give the software, they give the access, they decide what output is allowed and what not. This is a big problem, and especially if garbage in and garbage out comes on the table. What we will see here now, I'm pretty sure you are familiar with the example on the left-hand side. It was an MIT, and was it MIT? The young lady from people of color, she was trying to get in her office space, a working space, via face recognition. The problem was that this was trained by nerdy male white guys, and she couldn't get in until she put a white Phantom of the Opera mask about her face, and then it was allowed to go in. We had of this, there's a company here that's called Algorithm Watch. They look at government institutions, if they use algorithms and how they use in a bad or a wrong way. I mean, there's a case of the New York Times where they found out that people ended up in jail because of just lookalike, because the face recognition software was not able to differ between people of color. So he ended up in jail. This is the movie. You can watch the trailer on YouTube if you want. It's very insightful. And then I have this. So at the early phase, I tested out what is possible, was not. So I tried to make an image of God with Stable Diffusion Dream Studio. And if you are a white Christian and a guy, happy you. I mean, the bot knows nothing, right? He doesn't know that Quran does not allow to have an image of God. So it just shows what you have. So general biased input gets biased output. I also tried to do a sex on the beach cocktail and found it pretty interesting that on the left side, Dream Studio had a kind of an idea how it looks that humans have sex. The diffusion bee at least tried to do it. And then we have this censorship, right? DALL-E or Midjourney don't allow you to generate texts that have sex in it, even if it's a cocktail. It doesn't work. So you cannot do a sex on the beach cocktail with Midjourney. Right? Plagiarism, you have heard of the left one. He spent years, this illustration and painter Rutkowski, to develop a fantasy style. Now he got labeled and everybody can copy his work within seconds. Pretty much he will lose his job, probably. On the other hand, we have this case of copyright in the US, where somebody made a comic with prompted Midjourney pictures, but he didn't get copyright for the images. Office said, no, it's not enough just to feed a text-to-image prompter to have a copyright. He did get copyright, if I read it right, for the story, but not for the images. Ironic twist. There is this artist. Her art was taken for training the AI. And if she now published something, she got, please remove this post. It includes AI art. You are not allowed to show it here. So first they stole her artwork, and now she's not allowed to have her style in some platforms. I also wanted to open the picture for sustainability. I found this, especially for you, Janus, to train a single AI model like ChatGPT-3 once consumes as much as 126 houses in Denmark. I mean, this is just one AI model trained once. And if we multiply this by the requests now coming in, I don't know, for example, my home country, Germany, that just stopped atomic electricity, will keep up to and provide power for that. Then we have this fairness and social problem, so that ChatGPT is talking nicely to us, more or less is the result of human filters that went low paid through all the inputs and deleted it manually. So these big companies have no problem to use less paid workers to do the job for them. So now finally come to the tools. I mean, I had at the beginning, I'm still meeting people from the design disciplines that say these AI tools are not in any way they want to use it because it's not, the output is not creative and all that. And I said, this is not acceptable. I mean, if there is light at the end of the tunnel coming towards you, mostly it's not the end, the entrance, it's the train coming and hits you, right? You have to be aware of this. You have to train these tools. You have to know which one is stealing your job. But most of them wanted to close their eyes. And there is an enhancement of creativity. I mean, since this iPhone moment, now we have ChatGPT-4 that is able to understand image content. Right? You see this in the middle here. If you cut the strings, what will happen? and this bot answers you that the balloons will fly away. He understands what is in there. This is crazy. This couldn't be done a year ago. And now we have this coming up that is like and probably you use them. I'm not using them that much at the moment, but this will be the App Store 2.0. I mean, this is like these are the official ones, and there are the leaked unofficial ones. This is like a Swiss pocket knife that gives creativity a superpower if used right. Is it gaming? Is it architecture? Is it music, graphic illustrations, text, or video? You can do everything in combining. Like you just heard of this, right? The text to images prompts. You can install them with ControlNet and Stable Diffuse directly on your computer to have full control. You can have speakers, text to audio that is internationally possible to adapt the speaker, the tone, the voice, the language. You can animate every still image in a few seconds just by uploading it. This is one of my lovely ones because it will, if it's then out, will be like a superpower again. I mean, you can just, you have heard of it, I hope. You can just give any video as an input and put something like a super filter on it. And then it gives you a claymation style, a paper cut scissors style, a wooden style. You give a reference image and you get moving pictures. I really love this thing down there where they just put like some sketchbooks on the table and then they tell the application be a skyline helicopter fly over the city. This is opens so much superpower. And now the next step, and it really happened really fast, I think, is this text to image that they do on the second generation of it. So we split that. So image to image, yes, of course, again, the possibilities are endless, from adding backgrounds to banners and movies or draw something else in it. Even those who cannot draw can now draw something and say what it has to be meant for, and then you just click go and then you get the result. This is such a bridge building stuff, and it really works. I think you just draw whatever you want, and then you get the result. I hope the internet. This is awesome. For me, it is like a candy shop thing. As I just yesterday discovered with my kids, now you can put this drawing into, have you seen that? You can put this drawing, sorry, you can put this drawing into Meta, it's from Meta, and then you just upload it here, and then you will get like thousands of options to make it running, jumping over the screen. So you can animate every children's drawing in a second or two. Okay, back to honest. So here, see what I says. So this was the most quoted thing I heard the last times, and this is the oldest source I could have found. So he said, AI will not replace you, a person using AI will. So again, I try here in Switzerland, everybody I met, I try to get on their nerves and tell them that this creative bubble has to wake up and use those tools. I mean, here's a portfolio of it. The image editing, there will be plugins for Photoshop. You just mark whatever you want, tell the AI what you want, click a button, and then it will do it. The same with UI. I don't know if you saw it. You describe what you want, and then you get it, because the patterns of these things are not very unique. A profile landing page with phone numbers and passwords. Here you go. And the good thing is it's right there for Figma, and you can edit it there. So amazing, unbelievable from my side. Then before I gave a speech like this, a couple of weeks ago before Midjourney 5 came out. And I was asked if this will be a threat to photography. And I said, probably not at the moment. And then on the same evening, version 5 came out, and somebody who's definitely knows what he's doing gave a very professional prompt based on the laws of photography. And then you just, with a camera description, with a resolution and a shorter description, and then you can have a pizza. I mean, this is the end of stock photography. Why should a restaurant that is basically a street restaurant around the corner spend money for having their food photographed? Even the fun is you can change the amount of rucola, change the amount of ham, with just changing the word. This is amazing stuff. So I didn't believe that it worked. So I did it on my own. I trained ChatGPT 4 for Midjourney 5 by just giving it 6 very professional prompts for photography. I also just gave him I gave it the URL where the parameters of the Midjourney are listed, just by URL. He said he can undo it. He found a pattern, and now I can just write everything I want, like a tiger in a jungle or a model walking on a here you see it, a beautiful female model walking the runway in a Supreme fashion show, and I got a photorealistic output, and by just changing one variable, you can get a totally other experience. Meanwhile, you have this possibility to give in this in brackets, so it automatically gives you the same image with different kind of models or different kinds of colors or whatever. And so you don't even have to write the prompt, it writes it on its own. Presentations and storytellings will change, this is for sure, as the tools are already here, like in plugins like Magic Slides. You just type in the topic, or you just type in the thing you want to say, and it phrases it for you or rewrites it for you. I hope this is a time saver, hopefully, or we get lost in it. I'm not sure yet. Then content creation, all this coding. We have developers in Croatia, and they say they never start again from a blank page. I don't know, maybe you can tell me later, because I heard that a lot of you guys did already AI projects. I heard that they speed up by like 40%, 30%, and then the CEO of Stability AI said that on GitHub already 30% of the code is now based on AI. I cannot say if it's true. It's just a quote of him. So I'm looking forward to hear. Campaigning, right? Branding, all the inputs are done, can be done now here via the crowd, giving them a tool and let them do the work.
So Dennis, as you said also in the opening, we were going to run out of time.
Yeah, I will go.
But I'm going to take the perhaps the advice also in the chat to discuss perhaps just a little bit. Do you have 1 minute left for this, or can we just jump to the discussion?
I know. I can do something what I want to do.
Just have a little bit of time for Q&A, but
okay. Now I want to show this the models. I want to show that the modeling thing. I think that it is unbelievable how realistic this is now on a browser-based tool. And then somebody asked me if the jobs will be erased by AI. And this is the last slide I would like to show. Is like we think that if you use the Pareto principle, we think that 80% of the jobs, creative or not, will be done automatically by AI. 20 will be like co-created. And then we had a discussion with somebody who said, but he has a unique writing style that nobody can copy. And I smiled, because I think as soon as he repeats the idea once or twice,
Yeah.
it can be detected as a pattern. He will get labeled, and then he falls back to zero with his idea. So this is really interesting. So if we have now a data-driven design, the question will be this: what will be making the difference of our work? Will it be emotions again? Will it be the magic? Do we have to run in the opposite direction to make outstanding output? Yeah. Now time's over, right, Janus?
Great. So let me
Stories.
move to Mantas. Did you want to ask something or just share perhaps a reflection comment? That would be
I'm sorry, I think I misunderstood the purpose of the meeting. I thought you are preparing for design day. At least this is yeah, this is our community day, I thought, but this is unrelated apparently. This is
No
just
problem.
yeah.
No problem. But thanks for kind of prompting Dennis so that we could get to Q&A.
Yeah.
Jake, do you want to jump in? I saw you raised a hand. Or
Thank
Jake,
you, Janus. Yeah. Just I have a very quick question. First of all, Dennis, thank you for preparing all this. This is incredible information. My question is very quick and tactical. Will you share the slides?
Yes, we'll get a copy of those.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of Dennis, he's been working on this. He sent me a draft last week, and I'm like, there's too much good in here.
I have a boss to ask, but you have already the screen record, so I can say, yeah, go through it.
Exactly. So you can go through them in your own pace. Any other questions, comments, reflections? I think everybody saw perhaps a new tool. I know, Dennis, you think highly of us and you think we know it all in this community, but
yeah,
I certainly also saw a couple of new things. Our friend from Radiometer just wrote a comment to take up farming because AI can't do that yet.
farming, yeah. And it cannot do spread bed sheets. This is for sure.
Or wooden shoes.
AI's actually been doing farming for quite some time already.
Come on, Jake.
Yeah.
Who invited you? Who invited you?
Yeah, I read a case about the farming company. What is it with the deer? Green American.
John Deere's been using.
John Deere, yeah. How they use AI to optimize farming and all that, giving tracks for the machines.
So I'm going to just pass it over to Martin, who also raised his hand. You want to ask something, Martin? You ready?
Yeah, sure. So I work in UX, and I think in the last kind of 5 years, it's the death rate of a tool is about 1 year. So you have to expect new tools like every other year and not stay too long. So what's your expectation of this AI stuff? Is like every week it seems right now, but do you think it will stabilize?
No, I don't think it will stabilize. I think that the big power players like Microsoft or Google, as I mentioned, Adobe now, that they will have an advantage of this because of the branding, and they have the power to implement it better, and they will just suck in every new idea that comes from a new one out in a rapid speed. I do not think that the minor ones will survive if they cannot provide it. Probably there was a slide I did not show, because I think you have to be like, it's like a Maslow's pyramid, right? You have to be reliable, you have to be transparent, maybe, as Firefly now does. And sooner or later, and these tools cost a lot of energy to provide. I mean, not only the UX that has to be involved and increased by better interface. I think they will just suck it up. I'm scared of that. I mean, not scared. I mean, it's a good thing that they will provide it to us in a uniformed way, but I do not think that a little tiny super tool can survive. It will just be a plugin for the bigger ones sooner or later, I'm afraid. That's you can prove me wrong, but this is a energy consumpting surrounding.
Thank you
have
very
to get
much.
money for it.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Really appreciate it. Thanks for preparing all of this for us. I think definitely also on the first comment from Mantis, to be continued. I think this is not the end of the conversation around how AI connects with creativity or everything. And I see also in the chats now, perhaps more emphasis on the human and human created, a little like the artisan, the artists part of it. But I would say thank you, Dennis. Thanks to everybody for joining. I hope you found us valuable and worthwhile as I did. I'm going to struggle a little bit to type all of this up, but thank you, Dennis.
We need an AI to shorten it. Yeah.
And there's that.